In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You're advised that any views expressed by the hosts or their guests are not necessarily the views of Togi Entertainment or its partners.
Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Robin Boyd and Sandra Beck, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the many resources that are available in both the public and private sector, and we'll be sharing helpful information from women all over the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio, and here are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, and we've got a jam-packed show today. Robin, let's see how many guests we can get on in one show.
Jam-packed. We're ready for the record today.
We are. I want to put a shout-out to Emily Poirier, who has gone above and beyond the call of duty to listen to today's show. It's amazing what people will do to listen to this show.
I know it. And, the strings that people pull, honestly.
Honestly. Oh, you know what? But I want to put a shout out to our Fort Sill military wives, our Army wives, some of our Facebook groups that have done an outstanding job repeating our social media, putting our show out. Our show numbers are climbing, and we want everyone to keep repeating our shows. Let everybody know in the military community, if they haven't heard about Military Mom Talk Radio, they should, because we've got great guests today. We have, and I just love this, for Mother's Day, it couldn't get any more perfect. Robin's mother-in-law, Jo Boyd, how old is she?
I don't know if she wants to disclose that information. We'll have to ask her.
Okay, well, it's over the age of 21 and under the age of 100, but not by
There
much.
you go.
And her sons and grandsons have served in the military, and she's going to give us a perspective on the changes of resources available to the military families from then and now. And if you look on our marketing, you'll see Robin's niece Allison and her daughter Emily with this outstanding woman. Then we're going to bring back a favorite of ours, Debbie Gregory of Military Connection. And for those of you who haven't checked it out, militaryconnection.com. And she's going to talk about VAMBOA, which is so outstanding. It's about veterans and the Small Business Association. And what's so great about this, Robin, is we're kicking off today our 10-week series, our Small Business Expo, because we're bringing experts on. It's a tongue twister today. We're going to bring experts on for the next 10 weeks. These are leaders in their industry to talk about how to launch a small business, because in this day and age, not only are there government funds available for our veterans, but websites are free on the internet. There's internet services that allow the small business to start up for less money than they could ever imagine possible. I see businesses start up every day for less than $100, which, everybody can afford $100 to start a business. And that also means to our veterans and their families financial freedom, the ability to run their own business, control their own income. These are such powerful things, Robin. You are a small business owner. I am a small business owner. So we are really, really supportive of our veterans and their families starting their own small business, especially with the difficulty in finding jobs these days. Why not?
Well, and especially because when you all of a sudden have a PCS move, you may have to leave a conventional employment. So having the ability to pick up and move wherever you are heading, whether you're prepared for it or not, at least you can bring a business with you, most likely. So this is one of the things that's a benefit of any kind of virtual networking, and that's what we're just so excited about. But in the meantime, I'd love for you to meet my family. I am very fortunate to have an amazing mother-in-law, and I know some people may not be as close to their mothers-in-law as others, but I have been very close to my mother-in-law, and it has been over 35 years that I've known this woman. And I want to say hello to Joe Boyd. Hello.
Rob?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, well, there was a funny noise in the background, but yes, I did hear you, and thank you. Well, actually, I'm extremely fortunate. In all of my daughters-in-laws seem to like me, so I feel very fortunate.
Well, I have to say, you certainly are the impetus to why we like you, in that you're just an amazing person. You are a creative person. You have more knowledge than I think that I could ever imagine acquiring. And I just know that we are very fortunate to have been a part of your life, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of your family, of the Boyd clan.
Yes, and it keeps increasing.
Yes, it does. Sandra, I know that you've probably heard of our family, but Joe, I want you to sort of give us a little attendance record of who we have that have served and are serving in the military. Obviously, everybody knows my husband was in the military. But Joe, let's list in our family who we've got serving.
Now?
Yes, who's serving
now?
Because
Jim did.
Jim did.
But with my children, it was Stephen and Jim. Mm-hmm. And with my grandchildren, my oldest grandson is a lieutenant colonel. My youngest grandson is a captain. One Army, one Air Force. And it's been wonderful knowing that so far they have been well and they have been safe, even though my oldest grandson has served because of the languages he speaks in the Middle East. So anyway, and I talked to my youngest grandson last night, who is stationed in California but is going to be deployed sometime because it's his turn.
Mm-hmm. Do you know where is he being deployed?
No,
I don't.
And I thought it was going to be sooner than it is, Rob, but it is not, and hopefully. But being Air Force is not, and being an engineer is not the same as being, feet on the ground. Kind of thing, like your son-in-law, who was a Marine. So.
Yes. One of the things that I think I wanted to share, Joe, is sort of a comparison, because as we've known with Adam and with Alec, who are currently serving, communication with home is quite different from when it was when Jim and Stephen were serving, isn't it?
Well, Jim was never out of the country. Steve was the one. I mean, he was both in Korea and he was in Vietnam, and the difficulty of communicating with those places, particularly when he was in Vietnam, and you spend a lot of time quietly worrying about, how is he doing, what is going on, and so forth and so forth. And as everyone knows, it was an extremely unpopular war, and to have my son tell me that he was spit on when he came in from overseas was kind of a deplorable thing. Today we still have, I find the people that I associate with relate very well to service people and are extremely supportive of those that are in the military. And I kind of avoid people who are detrimental in remarks or attitudes toward the military, because where would we be without them?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know, I think there are so many times that we hear of the challenges that the last war had on our military, and I think it is because of the challenges that some of the veterans had are the reason why the current veteran support is as strong as it is, because I think a lot of the military groups are based with veterans who knew what they went through, and therefore are so determined that this time around we're not going to
abandon.
Yes, we are just going to have support. Joe, we're going to have a commercial break in a couple of minutes. Possibly you could just stay tuned for a couple of minutes more. One of the things that I guess I wanted to let everybody know about my nephew and your grandson Adam is that his wife has followed him every time he's had a move, and I think that that's a whole different element of military life. And I know Kristen has talk about being a trooper.
She is a fantastic military wife. She really is, and he's got two fantastic kids that, and he will be back here in this country in another year. He's going to be stationed here in the States. So,
and right now he's in Germany right now, is that right?
He's in Germany, yep.
Yeah, and I think the kids have probably gone to school in Germany just as much, if not all.
Colin was born in Germany, so it was like, and he remembers some of the growing up there that he did. But, they're 11 and 13 at this point, so they're thoroughly enjoying all of and doing all kinds of wonderful things and being able to travel around. So it's really great for them because they are all together as a family.
Yeah, that is wonderful. In about 15 seconds, we've got a commercial break. We'll just say, hold on to Joe just for a minute longer. And
sure.
On the other side of the break, we are going to welcome Debbie Gregory from militaryconnection.com. She has an amazing website. If you have not visited militaryconnection.com, you need to. It's amazing. It's a wealth of knowledge, and we can't wait to chat with Debbie. She's always wonderful. Back in a few moments with Joe Boyd and Debbie Gregory with Sandra Beck and me, Robin Boyd, after these messages.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Believe in your fairy tale to make your zing come true.
I love it.
Debbie Glickman and Deanna Cohen know it. Join these soul sisters on TogiNet.com. Believe in your fairy tale to make your zing come true. Showcases two sides. One, to help entrepreneurs showcase their products and tell their story of their happily ever after. And two, to interview people who have realized their own fairy tale and doing something to benefit others. This show is here to help folks who have an idea and want to get it off the ground, as well as to inspire people to make the world a better place by doing something extraordinary or out of the box to help others. Both of these entrepreneurs have their own businesses and websites. With more information on their passions and successes, first for Debbie, fairytalewishesinc.com, and for Deanna, thenextbigzing.com. Believe in your fairy tale to make your zing come true with the Soul Sisters, Debbie Glickman and Deanna Cohen on TogiNet.com.
Second chances. We all deserve them, and we are all worthy of them. Second Chances with your host, Midge Noble. Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central on TogiNet is like coming home to warm, fresh baked cookies, a hug from Grandma, or an enthusiastic greeting from your dog. Second Chances, hosted by Midge Noble, a licensed professional counselor, is affirming, warm, genuine, validating, and thought-provoking. Second Chances is a place to be heard, a place to laugh, a place to cry, and a place to be seen. For more on Midge and Second Chances, check out MidgeNobleSecondChances.com. Then be a part of a show that will change how you think, how you feel, and what you do. Give yourself the gift of second chances and see where it will take you. So take a deep breath, open your heart, open your mind, and join host Midge Noble for Second Chances. Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and a statue of liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hi, Military Moms. This is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, and we have welcomed a special guest, Joe Boyd. And Joe, I would like to ask you, in the age today where people email and they text, when Stephen was serving overseas in Vietnam, did you get letters from him? How did you communicate while he was overseas?
Very few, because of the position that he was in and because everything that was going on in his life at that particular point. It was always wonderful when something did come, but it wasn't as often as those at home would like, but it didn't mean that he was not in our thoughts and in our hearts when he was over there. So communication is a little easier today than it was way back then.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for coming on the air today, and thank you for sharing your family with us, for the number of family members that you have serving in the military. You're an outstanding mother-in-law. You're an outstanding grandmother. I hear nothing but great things about you. And Robin and I want to wish you a very, very, very happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye, Ann.
Bye.
Okay, Rob, she's fantastic. You know,
she is.
There's just not enough to be said about our military moms these days. You know, you think of today we've got texting and we've got email, but even that causes some difficulties, Rob. I know we get a lot of letters from military families saying because communication is so great, when it doesn't, somebody goes and they go on maneuvers or something happens and communication is suspended, it's almost like, we become junkies. We're waiting for the emails, waiting for the texts when they don't come, for a day or two. But I can't imagine what it was like to go months and months without hearing if your son was dead or alive. That just had to be unbelievable.
Absolutely. And that wait. And I think of even when, my parents, my mom and dad were, my dad was serving. It was just a horribly long time. So it is fortunate nowadays that there's technical advantages, that we have the internet, that we have email, we have texting. It's great.
Well, and you know what? I want to bring on Debbie Gregory right now. Debbie Gregory has been somewhat of a regular on our show. She is the CEO of MilitaryConnection.com, which is one of the most comprehensive online directories for military veterans and their family members. Debbie, are you with us today?
Good afternoon.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. I know we talk a lot about MilitaryConnection.com, but today I want to talk about VAMBOA. Can you let our listeners know what VAMBOA is and how it helps our veterans and their families?
Absolutely. VAMBOA stands for Veteran and Military Business Owners Association. And today's veterans are disciplined, they're trained, they know how to achieve the mission. And besides being very viable and capable employees, many of them are entrepreneurs and have the skills and the drive to start their own businesses. And that's what VAMBOA is about, supporting veteran and military business owners, including service-disabled veteran business owners. And we started probably a year and a half ago. We have close to 5,000 registered members. And there are a lot of veteran business owners in the country. And I think that given a choice, if companies, everything else was equal, they'd prefer to deal with a, veteran business owner than a non-veteran business owner.
Now, Debbie, one of the things that I know about our military service members and their families are they're very, very resourceful. They're used to picking up and moving. They're used to making the best out of tough situations. Those, I think, are really great skills to bring to the small business owner community.
Absolutely. And the small business community is the engine that runs this nation's, or it's a fuel that runs this nation's economic engine. There are, the small business community accounts for more jobs than any of the large corporations or the government entities.
Now, Debbie, what are some of the people who are signing up to be part of VAMBOA? What are some of the types of jobs that they're doing, the type of companies they're owning, the careers that they're choosing as small business owners?
Well, VAMBOA has all types of members in every conceivable business, but a lot of the businesses are technical businesses. A lot of them are government contractors. With that said, there's a lot of wonderful corporations that also want to do business with veterans, especially corporations that have federal programs where they're selling to the federal or state governments. There are legal requirements that they need to do business with women, minorities, and service-disabled veterans. And these service-disabled veterans are just a little bit more challenging to find, but there's such a demand for those business owners, whether it's utility companies, whether it's major corporations. One of our corporate sponsors is Amgen, the biotech company. And I think a lot of veteran business owners sometimes just keep their eye focused on the government business ball or contract ball, and maybe not as much on some of the private corporations that really want to work with them. At our conference, we had top companies in addition to Amgen. We had AT&T, we had Northrop Grumman, we had Johnson Controls, we had Toyota. All of these are companies, and there were some others that I am forgetting, but they were all companies that were at the conference to tell veteran business owners what they needed to do to get their business. So they have large diversity supply departments. They dedicate millions of dollars toward working with a diverse group of businesses. And I think that you'd be leaving a lot on the table not going after this market if you're a veteran or service-disabled or military business owner.
Now, so let's play devil's advocate for a moment. Mm-hmm. I'm a veteran business owner, who employs moms in the tech field. What do I do to get in front of these big companies? Do I join VAMBOA? How does that work?
Well, joining VAMBOA is there's a lot of benefits involved in it, and it doesn't cost you anything, and it allows you to network with others. But also, in your business plan, you should be marketing your services also to corporations, large corporations that can use your services and want to use your services because you're a woman, because you're, a veteran business owner. You might be a minority too. The military is the largest employer of minorities, so we have a lot of business owners that fit what everybody wants, all the criteria: woman, minority, service-disabled, veteran business owner. But
that would be the jackpot. You would hit the jackpot as a woman, minority, veteran business owner.
Right, and there are a lot of them. And also, being an entrepreneur takes courage today. Believe me, I speak personally from that. And, as soon as you sort of overcome one challenge and figure out how to do something, the next one appears. But it's a learning experience, and it's exciting, and it's fun, and it's dynamic. It's nice to work for somebody and know that you don't have to worry about, well, even today, you can't not worry about getting paid. I mean, when you have companies like J.P. Morgan losing $2 billion and you have major layoffs today, our state has a deficit. Things are not the way they used to be. So at least when you're relying on yourself, you know where things stand. There aren't as many surprises.
That's true. Now, Debbie, when you formed Military Connection and VAMBOA, and you are, a woman business owner, that took some guts.
It was a little bit scary, and every day I learn new things, and it's fun, and being able to work with veterans and the wonderful nonprofits that serve them is the best part of what I do. But at the end of the day, in order to be able to do all the programs that we do, we have to generate revenues. Because if we don't generate revenues, we're not going to be here to help anyone.
Absolutely.
And there has to be a balance. And, you find that you can only do so much. You kind of have to make choices and figure out what's going to benefit the most or what is really important. And that's a hard choice all the time. And I think a lot of business owners have that choice. I wanted to mention a program that we're going to be spearheading. We're joining forces with a group called Entrepreneurs for Change. And what they do, any veteran that is coming back that wants to start their own business, Entrepreneurs for Change is going to provide some, not unlimited, because there are limitations, free training to veterans that want to start their own business. It's a course that covers just all kinds of important things, and at the end of the course, you just about have your business plan and everything else. And then we're also going to provide small loans to establish credit, and then when those are paid back, larger types of loans that could be involved. But it's a wonderful way. If you're going to start a business, the more skills you have, the better it is for you.
Debbie, where is this resource available again?
Well, right now it's in Southern California, but we're hoping to take it national and maybe do some of it virtually. And the courses usually don't have more than 20 people. And the person teaching the course, it's kind of an entrepreneur incubator type of thing. They're affiliated with the Bradley Foundation, with the Volunteers of America, with a number of different groups. And then they will put you in touch with some of the financial groups. And there's different sessions. You learn the process of getting what you want, workshop and leadership and your goals and objectives and the elevator pitch, so to speak, because you're going to have to be able to tell people very succinctly what it is you need and what you want.
Right.
And business finance and understanding credit, legal requirements to start a business, operational strategy.
This is extremely
marketing
comprehensive,
strategy. Yeah. And then when you're done, you're going to have a business plan, an executive summary, and even a videotape of your elevator pitch, so to speak.
Absolutely. Deb, we've got to go to break. Debbie, Gregory, you're amazing. I want to say VAMBOA, that's V as in Victor, A-M-B as in Bravo, OA.org, and also militaryconnection.com. Debbie, Gregory, thanks as always. You're wonderful.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Parents, if you feel overloaded, overworked, underappreciated, and seriously stressed out, The Parents Plate is here to help you. The Parents Plate with Brenda Nixon. Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet. It's time to build stronger families through parent empowerment. And that's what The Parents Plate does. The Parents Plate understands the busyness of life and balancing child rearing and other commitments. Brenda Nixon will be talking to noted experts and authors on all issues, from teething to teen driving. Brenda Nixon is a nationally recognized speaker to parents and child care professionals and author of the award-winning The Birth to 5 book. From Fox 4 in Kansas City to schools and synagogues to businesses to bookstores, conferences to churches, audiences rave that Brenda engages, educates, and encourages. For more information on Brenda and her books, check out her website, brendanixon.com. The Parents Plate is loaded with information and affirmation. The Parents Plate with Brenda Nixon. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
Live Friday Nightcap Radio, 10 p.m. to midnight with Christy and Laura on TogiNet.com. Broadcasting from their scrappy kitchen in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. They've got nothing better to do than riff with their favorite Brooklyn-based independent vendors, artists, bands, bartenders, foodies, weirdos, and news stories. Featuring the live studio audience. Betty Rehab and the Gay Boys.
sex and dating commentary with the impersonal, the unknown political masked man, and people who kind of know stuff. Stream on after your long week. Brooklyn's variety show of madcap intellectualism. Friday Nightcap Radio with Lauren Christie, 10 to midnight Eastern on TogiNet.com. Radio like you've never seen.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hi, military moms. We're about halfway through our show today. We've had such a great time with Jo Boyd. She's a military mom and a military grandma, which is so fun. We also welcome Debbie Gregory at militaryconnection.com and Vamboa. That's V as in Victor, AMBOA. Is it .org, Rob? Is that right?
It's a .org.
That's a .org. Well, we've got those up on our site. For more information about Military Connection and Vamboa, head to militaryconnection.com. For those of you who have missed the earlier part of today's show or any of our previous shows, you can check us out on iTunes. You can also pick us up on TogiNet.com, our host radio station, also on the Rockstar Radio Network. And you can go to our website by the same name, Military Mom Talk Radio, and pick up not only our earlier broadcasts, but the show for today. Now, we're going to pick up with Bob Corcoran, and I got to tell you, this guy is amazing.
I can't wait to meet him.
He's so much fun. You know, it's like every once in a while I get a real kick out of our guests. And today's show between Debbie Gregory and Bob Corcoran, it's such an easy show when I know, how wonderful our guests are. Bob is the owner of Corcoran Consulting and Coaching, and he's going to kick off today our 10-week Small Business Expo series. Bob, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Welcome to the airways.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here, and I'm excited about today's show because you're really hitting hot buttons with me on this show.
So, Bob, for our listeners who
can't hear you.
Oh, my goodness, we lost Sandra again. Bob, let's talk a little bit about your business and who you have been consulting with.
Well, I've been I started Corcoran Consulting and Coaching about 22 years ago in helping, I discovered that I primarily work in the real estate industry, but I found out that real estate agents didn't really know how to run a business. They were master salespeople, but when it came to running a business, about the systems and what they needed to do, they really didn't know. So I found my niche 22 years ago, and we've been so blessed over the last 20 years to just, help hundreds of thousands of realtors, and helping them start their businesses. I do small business seminars, not just related to real estate, because all the skills really, they're transferable across all industries. And we work with a lot of top real estate agents in military marketplaces right now. My wife's military brat herself, traveled all over the world. Her dad's a retired Marine. I have a cousin who's currently a colonel in the Air Force. And, the military is very near and dear to my heart. So I'm excited to be able to share with the listeners today all the different opportunities that exist out there. Especially there's a lot of people saying, yeah, but, we keep changing stations every 2-3 years. You know what? There's a huge need for people just like this. So I'll let you ask the questions because I'll keep going for hours.
Bob, that makes my job so much easier. Sandra here. You had shared with me earlier today that you are helping a family member transition from his military career into the civilian lifestyle. What do you think is one of the hardest things about making that transition?
The mindset. Okay, he's been in the Air Force for 23 years, and he's going to be getting out. And so I started working with him probably 4 years ago, okay, and helping him develop his mindset and to start look at the end of his military career and deciding what it is you want to do. It's a little late if you just get out, so I always encourage, all the people in military to start planning your exit strategy at least 12 to 24 months prior to you getting out of the service.
Now, Bob, when you do that, type of transition in your mindset, is this something that you should practice on a daily basis? Is it something that you talk to your family about? How do you make that transition from really one culture to another?
Yeah, the culture, the beautiful thing about the military people, and I kind of tell all of our clients, if you have anybody who's been in the military, they're retired military, just go ahead and hire them. Because number one is they're great on discipline. And every single person, a lot of our clients do hire a lot of retired military, in their businesses right now. But making the transition, I think it's something that you really do need to begin, at least a year, and better late than never. If you're out, you need to start now. Great, we'll give you the tips. But I think it's things like start thinking, what does the outside world look like? I mean, especially if you want to be an entrepreneur and start your own business, the hardest thing is in the military, most people are always used to people telling them what to do. Well, when you run your own business, there's nobody watching you. So you got to start looking at the mindset of, geez, I really need to start making decisions for myself. So people will start, in the military, they may start businesses while they're still in the military, or their spouses will start the business. And I usually like to take the approach, with if there's spouses involved, to start involving the spouse and helping develop that mindset for after the military. Things like you need to put together your own business plan. And listening, to Debbie Gregory, the prior segment, it is about that business plan. Especially if you're going to get money, to help start a business, they're going to want to see a business plan. So to teach these, soldiers to start thinking for themselves versus always having to take orders. So you can really start in so many different ways, especially if you're dealing with families and spouses.
Bob, you're talking about exit strategy, and in a regular civilian lifestyle, that is such a buzzword. But in the military, do you find that it's easy for people to sort of know that they've got, maybe a year and a half left for their expected military career? Are they usually going into an industry that they may have gained skills while serving, or are they kind of coming back saying, I'm going to pick up where the goals that I was intending on before I even left for the service?
Well, one of my, what I've discovered over the years in dealing with different military people is a lot of them really don't know what their value is on the outside world. And so, for example, I had one guy, he had been in the military 20 years, and, I know at 20 years, I mean, you're disciplined, okay, you take orders well, and I offered him a job on the spot, to come work for my company. And at about 20% of the salary, he could have gotten on the open market. And the reason I did that, and that's when I discovered that they really didn't understand their worth. A lot depends upon, what, part of the military you're playing, your security clearances and things like that. And I think, the military does have some great counseling for those people looking to get out of the military. So I strongly encourage all of our troops to take advantage of that type of counseling. So, it's not an easy start, but too many people, they believe they're going to go into an industry, usually what they found themselves doing in the military, even if they didn't like it, because they feel that's all they know. And if you're, been in the military a while and you got a nice pension coming out of that, take an opportunity to work for what you're passionate about. Because if you can't work in passion, please don't start another career. Okay, your spouse is probably going to hate you for that. Okay, it's all got to be about the passion of what you love, and I think that's what being the entrepreneur is all about. Just start with a list. What are you passionate about, and what do you like and what don't you like? Take a blank piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. What do I love to do? What do I hate to do? And that's the beginning of helping you discover, okay, what business you might want to go into. Decide. Do you want to work for somebody else? Do you want to start your own business? The opportunities are abundant out there.
Well, and Bob, you said something so great about the military personnel, and I'm going to add in their families don't recognize their value to the community. You know, we have a lot of military wives and mothers that listen to this show, and I get letter after letter, some people looking to work for my company or ideas. When you're a military wife and you've PCS moved, 5 times from one side of the country to another, you have already demonstrated to me that you have resiliency, you have flexibility, you have adaptability, and you have great organizational skills, because anybody who's ever had military packers come and pack up your garbage along with everything else in your house, you realize that you have these leadership qualities, you have these organizational skills. These are great skills that can translate to, virtual assistant careers, virtual manager careers, things that these moms have never thought of, and you can take that job wherever you go, whether you're stationed in Alabama or Anchorage. With the things available on the internet today, it's possible for our moms, our military wives and mothers, to have sustainable careers in great industries that allow them to work within the military lifestyle. Bob, I'd love your thoughts on this. We've got a couple minutes to break.
Well, I truly believe there are an abundance of opportunities. I look at the military moms, and my wife is a military mom, and when you talk of being able to pack up the garbage, we were just talking about that a couple of weeks ago when she got shipped over to Greece, okay? And it's funny, but I look at that, and usually, the military mom is the one at home who's responsible for all this, and I look at the biggest asset to me that a military mom has is a versatility, because they've got to, they're supportive of their spouses in the military, okay, and I don't care if it's the husband or the wife, okay, the versatility they have to be able to PCS from one station to the next on a very frequent basis, just gives you so many skill sets that the average worker can never experience, and you have to be able to tout some of those strengths. I think that's what companies look for if you're going to work for a company, is your flexibility. And a lot of times, most people don't. I want to talk about it again. It's a big point, especially if you're a military mom. Okay, you don't look at your worth that you have. So I think that we just really need to understand that for all of you listening, the moms and everything, you really do need to look at your value, because when you talk about being a virtual assistant, there are an abundance. We have people that work for our military teams that we coach right now, okay? And when they get PCS to a different station, we wind up hiring them for that real estate team as a virtual assistant, because it's a skill set that can be done anywhere in the world if you as a military mom are flexible enough to want to do the job and if you love it enough.
Bob Corcoran, we've got more after the break. We want everybody to visit you at corcorancoaching.com, and that's CORCORAN. Back with more of Bob after the messages.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Join us for Self-Aid Success Stories with Helen Wu. Wednesday nights at 10, 9 Central on TogiNet.com. Helen Wu was born and raised in San Francisco's Chinatown, and after a very difficult upbringing, fighting depression, abuse, and addictions, she finally finds herself genuinely happy inside and out. Helen believes in taking our positive thinking and doing something positive to achieve a positive outcome. She's here to make a positive difference in your life, to be your game changer, your aha moment mentor. She's ready to help both men and women get into a better place. Helen Wu is also the author of Self-Aid Success Stories, 25 success stories from successful entrepreneurs. Inspired by Ellen DeGeneres, Helen wants the world to know that just because we find ourselves in a difficult situation doesn't mean we have to stay there. We can aid ourselves to a better life. So join us for Self-Aid Success Stories with Helen Wu. Wednesday nights at 10, 9 Central on TogiNet.com. Congratulations on being the proud owner of an adorable, soft, cuddly, sweet-smelling, smiling, cooing, hungry, tired, gassy, screaming little bundle of joy. So now what? Where's the owner's manual for this thing? Where are my instructions?
right here. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet.com. Infant care specialist Blythe Lipman has worked with babies for over 20 years and works extensively with new parents, providing workshops, in-home visits, tips, and daily phone calls to ease those frazzled nerves. With Baby and Toddler Instructions, you can get the advice you need on how to survive and enjoy your baby's first year. For more information on Blythe and how she can help you, go to babyinstructions.com. From 32 ways to stop a baby from crying to 14 ways to get a baby to eat and so much more. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet.com.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, and we have had such a great show with Debbie Gregory of militaryconnection.com and vamboa.org. We've also welcomed Bob Corcoran of Corcoran Coaching, who's been talking to us about the skill sets that our military personnel have in the bank already without using your education benefits, which we are going to talk about in future shows because there's lots of education benefits for our military personnel and our servicemen and women in uniform. So we want to talk to Bob a little bit more. When we went to break, we were talking about the skill sets that military families and the service members have coming right out of the blocks. Bob, you said you would hire one right on the spot. What are some of the other criteria and mindset that make military personnel and their families ideal candidates for the entrepreneurial experience?
It really is about the discipline they learn while in the military, like taking orders, okay? When you run your own business, that the biggest obstacle is you're used to taking orders from somebody. So, I don't know if it would be wise exactly when you first get out of the military to maybe start your own business unless you have a specific skill set that will allow you to do that. But I think transitioning into the workforce right after the military to be able to, get a feel for it, because there's a lot of emotional, trauma that can go on if you've been in the military a long time. I'll say anything over 6 years, okay? There's a lot of emotional stuff that you have to deal with, okay, into civilian life. So, I'd rather you be working for somebody else while you're going through that transition before seeking out and starting your own business. This way, it kind of eases you into it. And but it really, what I love most is really the attitude. I always say higher attitude first. And every soldier troop I ever met, okay, that got out, their attitudes were always phenomenal. They were great. We can teach skill sets. We can't teach attitude. So the discipline they learned while in the military will lead them well into, okay, the civilian world when it comes to work.
So, Bob, would you recommend some of our servicemen and women to look into an entrepreneurship with a mentor where they would, work in the industry under someone who'd take them under their wing? How would you recommend they go about going into their industry?
Well, I would look to my social medias first. Find out if you want to go out, be an entrepreneur, and start your own business, okay? Start doing some research now while you're still in the military, using the social media, making sure you're following proper protocol with the military, okay? And start to look for somebody. There are organizations out there, especially I think every Chamber of Commerce might offer it, cities offer for entrepreneurs, okay, and to match people up to partner with people. I get calls a lot from people who want to start their own business. I give seminars at our church, really to entrepreneurs about people. We have one segment of a session that we give. It says, "Can you stand the truth about starting your own business?" Because some people just are not destined to have their own business. You can definitely use the Small Business Administration as well. But, a lot of it, my first recommendation is to really get out, work for somebody else, even if it's for a year or 2 years. You don't always have to start your own company, but I'll tell you, the military people, I think, will far succeed the regular entrepreneur, in my opinion.
I agree.
And Sandra, mentoring, to find people, mentor, put it out on social media. You're looking for a mentor in this area, and just get into telephone conversation with those people.
Well, and Bob, that's so powerful that you talk about using social media, because one of the benefits that our military personnel need to understand, that when a company hires you, if you are a veteran, they get a tax credit for hiring you. So you bring benefit right to the table immediately, and you're able to come into these organizations, bringing that benefit. So I don't want any of our military personnel ever to feel that they're at a disadvantage coming out of military service into the civilian environment. And looking for these mentorship programs online, using Facebook, using Twitter, using Pinterest, using LinkedIn is another great one. And Robin, when we had Catherine Smith from clearjobs.net on a couple months ago, she gave a great tip that I want to pass on again. Before you leave your military career, start collecting people's emails, start collecting, their Facebook and Twitter handles and their LinkedIn, anything you can get before, because when you leave, it's very, very difficult. And when you leave the military, you lose your, .mil, your USMC.mil email. So to have those all at the ready when you step out into the, looking for your next career, looking for what you're going to do, to have all those social media handles available to you, collect them, like Bob said, 18 to 24 months before you leave. Start preparing yourself for this transition.
Plus, it's a resource for people who are looking for references. If you are going into a regular job while you're trying to work on an entrepreneurial opportunity, that's not easy to spit out. Because you're going to need references. You're going to need to say, all right, this is what I did. Yes, I led a team. Yes, I was able to do this. Yes, but they want to see the reference. So you've got to stay in touch with those people who are going to offer those references.
Well, let me speak to references. And I think, a lot of our military people, you have a ton of references that are in the military. Okay, if you led a squadron or anything, those are leadership abilities. So, talk to those people about using them as a reference. Because if your references may be all military, I think it's really important to use those people in the military as references. So,
The other thing you were saying too, Bob, is the fact that most of the skills that you're learning are going to be transcending into other industries. A manager can manage a team if they're going out into whatever they're deployed to. A manager can be coming back and be in a completely different industry, but they still are a manager. They still have to lead a team. They still have to inspire the people that they're working with.
No, absolutely. And so I just want, to make it very clear that, I think also the media could also do, a better job also in helping, the military person, transcend or come into the civilian world. All we hear about is, the negative side of people retiring from the military and having a hard time in the workforce. Why don't we start talking about some of the good things that are happening? That's going to make a lot of businesses also begin, to look at the soldier and the value that they have, to offer to their company. Too much negative press. So let's change the attitude.
I'm so glad you brought that up. And boy, that's going to have to be a topic for a whole other show, because that happens to kind of hit a little nerve with me, I have to tell you. It is difficult, I think, for veterans to get into the workplace. And maybe an entrepreneurial position is going to be something that they'll absolutely embrace, or it could be that thing that's going to tie them over until they are able to find work that they are encouraged to pursue for the rest of their lives, and we would hope that. Do you have workshops in your area? Do you have workshops nationally, Bob?
Well, we do not do anything in the small business world as far as, generic like that. I do some things, some seminars at our church. We will be putting one on in the fall. Here we're just outside of St. Louis, okay? And I'd be happy to let you know, and you can get it out to your network. People come from all over to come to these workshops. It's really great, and we have it for people who want to start a business and people who have already just recently started a business. So, that's really good. Also, take a look at our website, and because a lot of skill sets in that we use, the items we use are so transferable. Okay, to so many other jobs in the industry. Just replace the word with real estate, with cars, with bookkeeping, with virtual assistants. The biggest thing, and I want to really get this in before, because I know our time is short. The best advice I can give anybody is to lose the try word, T-R-Y. If you're getting out, okay, please don't try and do a job. Make a decision to either do it or don't do it. A lot of times, when you say I'll try and do it, you've already failed. So that's where we talk about attitude and setting our mind right with the business plan. This is what I will achieve. It's not what I want to achieve. It's what I will. So be very positive in your mindset, because nobody's better at controlling your own mindset than you. You also do need to have accountability. It's where you talk about, taking somebody under their wing. You do need accountability partners on your attitude to keep you focused on the positive and focused on the solution. Too many people in this world want to play the woe is me card, okay? And you know what? We are all responsible for our choices. 100% of what happens to us is because of a choice somewhere along the line that we've made in our lives. And so if you're making the choice to go out and start your own business, embrace that choice and surround yourself with people who are going to embrace you and hold you accountable, not just to pat you on the back and say, good job, because good is the enemy of great. Jim Collins. Okay, so really get an accountability partner for attitude first, and I'll tell you, it will change your life.
Amazing mindset and attitude. If we have heard nothing today, those are the two operative words that we just need to just march forward with. Bob Corcoran, thank you so much. I do hope we have you on the schedule to be coming back. You're an amazing inspiration. Thank you so much. We want to say Corcoran Coaching, correct? Did I get that correct? CorcoranCoaching.com. Thank you, Bob. Next week, I want everyone to tune in. We've got Sally Kronberg coming, who is one of our listeners, but she also does some wonderful Wounded Warrior quilts for the Cape Cod area. And we have Linda Maloney joining us. She has a book called Military Fly Moms, and we can't wait to chat with her. For Debbie Gregory, for Bob Corcoran, for my mother-in-law, Joe Boyd, and everyone tuned in, and Sandra Beck, thank you so much for listening to Military Mom Talk Radio. We look forward to hearing from everyone all week long, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much. And I don't hear the tunes. I was waiting for the tunes, and I thought that we were all set to pop out of there. Please check us out on iTunes. Check us out on Military Mom Talk Radio, and we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.